Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is Jessica Lynn from JessicaLynnOriginal Studios. I love being able to take you on adventures. Today's adventure, we are going to be exploring the Milwaukee County Zoo. The zoo itself is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Believe it or not, the zoo was established in 1892, and the Milwaukee Zoo is one of the oldest and most popular zoos in all of the United States. It's home to over 3,100 animals and represents over 400 species. So my goal with these videos is to have where I'm going to take you all the way around the zoo. So the first thing we're going to do is walk in and we're going to turn to the right. The very first exhibit we're going to see are the flamingos. These pink birds are definitely a crowd favorite at the Milwaukee Zoo. Did you know that the flamingos get their color from the shrimp and algae that they eat? It's true. And speaking of food, there is a ton of restaurants as you first walk in just before the flamingos. And in that area, there is a new cafe that's coming, so new food for the guests that are coming to the zoo. There's also a coffee house and a really small, little bakery as you first walk in. So if you're hungry before you get started, a great place to start. Because depending on what season it is, not all of the food carts or restaurants are always open at the Milwaukee Zoo. If you're there during the main summer hours, you pretty much can get to everything. But just know there are times, because of the sheer size of the zoo, that it could be a bit of a hike to go and find food. So as we continue our journey to the right, the next place we're going to be going to is actually the birdhouse. But before we go there, I just want to show you this really cool thing. Now, the flamingos are over there to the right. If you look down, don't forget to, a lot of people do, there are koi. And I'm going to be honest, some of these koi have been there for a very long time. They're beautiful and they are huge. But it's really cool to kind of see them just hanging out in the water, swimming around. And on the other side of the bridge to the left, there is another area for them to go to as well. So definitely, if one side's too crowded, the other one's open, be sure to go and take a look, because there are a lot of koi that are in there. Now, this bird aviary, what's really cool about this is that it was actually built in 1962. So this is some vintage stuff here. And truly, it is one of the zoo's most iconic attraction buildings. It has a huge, diverse collection of birds from around the world. So when you first walk in, there are some smaller birds. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit so you can see them. And they're in this small little cage. And as you walk in, it reminds me quite a bit of Pirates of the Caribbean. It has sort of some theming. You come around the corner and it's like Happy Feet has arrived, right? So this is one of the two penguin exhibits. This is the indoor exhibit, and the penguins are always swimming. There is another one outside when you first walk through the zoo building. The very first time you come from the parking lot right in, there are some penguins that live in a little penguin island. So if your children love penguins, there are two different places that you can go and find them. Now, for me, I have always been a Jurassic Park fan, and this area that we're about to go into, it always reminds me of it. It reminds me of where you'd see the pterodactyls or something. But this is the big part of the aviary, and what's really cool is the birds fly around, over, behind you, the whole bit. So be warned, if you are squeamish, birds flying over you, this is probably not the building to go in. Also, when birds fly over, you know what they do to cars. They can do the same thing to people. So just a heads up. Don't look up, right? But this is an absolutely beautiful exhibit. And as you can see, they have tons of natural light coming in. There's a waterfall. There used to be fish in this pond, so I don't know if they're going to be redoing it. But I would imagine that's coming back. But there always used to be fish in there. And it's so beautiful and tropical and just beautiful to see. And what's always fun are these car wash things that you have to go through to get to the different sections. And what I like about this area, now this is probably the most busy I've seen in a while, but again, this is filmed on the day that I think it's our first real day of spring here in Wisconsin. So of course everyone wants to get out and enjoy the weather. But what I love is that the birds are behind this vertical, and if you kind of look, you can see it like grading, which is nice because you can see it doesn't really detract from being able to see the birds, but it also keeps them safe from people and kids. And this area here, it has multiple cages, so you can see there is a division between them to keep the different species apart, but it's absolutely beautiful, very lush and green, and it's so much fun because it reminds me of those puzzles like when I was a kid where they'd give you like 10 things you had to find in the picture. And it's so much fun for the kids. Like, we'll go and we'll say, okay, let's see if we can find all of the birds. So we'll say, okay, here's, you know, this type of bird, find it. And we'll be like, oh, there it is. It just bounced out and came running toward the water, right? And you can see him right there. He's just going to clean off his little food that he found. And then there's another one, if you look way up on the right, on the rock. It had a little red top head. But it's a lot of fun because they'll show you all the different birds. And then you have to try and find them in the actual exhibit. So little kids love that. We have gone in this area and spent quite a bit of time searching for the different birds to try and find them. The other thing that's really nice is a lot of times there are either zoo volunteers or zookeepers that may be around. And if there's questions you have about a specific species or bird, or about their you know, even in their enclosure or how they feed them, the one thing I love about the Milwaukee Zoo is they are so accessible and they are so ready and available to share that information, right? I mean, that's the reason you go. You want to learn something. And I really like the fact that they are so accommodating. The other thing that's really cool, now let me show you, we're going to go into another area here. These are some sand-dwelling birds. And again, all divided out nicely so you can see the different birds in their sections. And here comes Zazu. There he is, right up there on top. There he is, right there. And so it's so fun because, you know, we try to make things relatable, right? Like, so there, that bird was, you know, what they used when they drew Zazu from The Lion King. Now that, not that specific bird, but that species. So it's a lot of fun to try and find those sort of moments while you're there to make it something the kids can learn and something you can learn from and make memories while you do it. And just a reminder, don't forget to go ahead and like this video and subscribe. It will send you a notification if you're logged in that we uploaded a new video, and I really would appreciate it. And don't forget to like this video as well. Now, I did not film everything inside the birdhouse because I want you to have something to go and enjoy as well. Although, I'll be honest, even if you go and you see the things that I just shared with you, it's always a different experience because the animals are always doing different things. The zookeepers are interacting with them differently. So it's always good for an adventure. Now, when you first walk out, you turn to your right out of here and you are going to see what they call is Monkey Island. It is truly an iconic exhibit at the Milwaukee Zoo. It's this huge outdoor habitat where the visitors can observe different species of primates, and the island itself is surrounded by a moat, and you can watch the monkeys play and climb and interact. And last time we were here, they actually had 2 tiny little babies. Oh my gosh, they were so cute. The moms were still carrying them around and wagging them around, and every time they'd go to climb on that equipment, she'd have to grab them back by the tail, like, get over here, right? So it is truly one of the most beloved attractions. I mean, I remember going there as a kid, and it is so fun to see that that has continued to evolve and also be an exhibit that's there that, you know, my kids have been able to see. So truly one of my favorites. There used to be a little ferret or a little mink that used to live on the island. I don't know if he's there anymore, but if you can see, there's that red little building there. He used to be right up. There's a bridge that the monkeys can go in at night. And he used to live right there. And I don't know if he's still there. But it almost reminds me of, if you are from Milwaukee and I throw this reference out, you'll totally get what I mean. There is a snake in one of the exhibits at the Milwaukee Public Museum. Now, again, we're talking here 2023, so as it evolves, that may not be around anymore. But the little snake, you'd find this magic little button and you push it and there'd be a rattlesnake that would go tsh, right? So that mink was sort of like the rattlesnake at the Milwaukee Zoo. So if you know what I'm talking about, you do. If not, no worries. Just let's keep going. Now, they did expand and change the full monkey building. And the monkey building, the original version of it, was built in 1930, which is crazy. But one of the things that I love about the Milwaukee Zoo is it feels so picturesque, and there's just nature, lots of long winding trails. And it's so fun because the original building itself was called the Money Building. And this building where the primates are, it actually used to be part of something called the Works Progress Administration Project. And it was designed to build jobs during the Great Depression. Is that crazy? So now this building has evolved. There is a huge hall where they host like breakfast with Santa, which is a lot of fun. So watch for that if you're thinking about it with your kids. Sign up early because it sells out so fast. A lot of weddings happen here, events. I have seen like Zumba on Saturdays in this whole, and it's not where the monkeys are here, but on the other side, there's a huge banquet hall. Where the monkeys are is the other side of that, and there are tons of small primates, gorillas, lemurs, tamarins. And today when we were walking through, we were all excited, but we realized that today was the first day that we've had some decent weather in Milwaukee, and 98% of the little monkeys were hanging out outside, which, you know what, I don't blame them, right? I mean, who wants to be in a building when the weather's nice? But what's really nice, though, is that during the winter months when you come in here, it's super warm, it's nice and comfy. You can walk around and enjoy the animals without being frozen. Because, like you've heard on my channel before, weather here in Wisconsin is completely unpredictable. So one day it's snowing, which was about 3 weeks ago. And then the next, couple of weeks later, it's 80 and humid. So you never know what you're going to get. My kids love to go and see these guys. They always are. We like to move it. And we always love to go and see the orangutan. Today the orangutan was just kind of chilling out. And again, you can see those really bright spots down at the bottom. That's where they had some of the air. So the monkeys were getting all this fresh air. They could go inside, outside, whatever they chose to do, which is great. Being able to preserve the species and, being able to have an opportunity where people can get close to them is absolutely amazing. Over here, we're almost up to the orangutan. You're going to see, they're going to ask you, shh, it's a quiet zone, so I'll whisper. No, I'm kidding. But you can see the orangutan over there on the right. And the orangutan was just chilling out, enjoying. You can see right by the window, so it had a beautiful breeze. Wonderful afternoon. So this is where we're going to end part 1, is at the end of the monkey exhibit. We have got a lot left to go and see. So we are going to go and see the reptile and fish building. We're going to go ahead and take a look at small mammals. We're going to take a look as we go down that big hill, which is everybody's favorite big hill. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. We're going to go see the otters. We're going to go see the bears. And we're going to also go see a bunch of other animals. So I ask you, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you come back and join me. Also, don't forget to like this video. And off on the left-hand side, you're going to see this playlist. So I will put this together so you can watch the full series. Thank you again, and I'll see you again real soon.